La ayahuasca es una soga. Su extracto es muy bueno, tiene un sabor hepático, pero para sacar el extracto debemos de curar necesariamente con chacruna. Y eso sirve para curaciones de los diferentes tipos de energías de la persona.
My name is Carlos Tanner. I'm an American. I'm 43 years old. I first came down to Peru in 2003 looking for healing. My experience down here on my first trip was just phenomenal. When the curandero that I was working with invited me to become his student and to live with him, I decided that that was my destiny, and I chose to make that my path in life. So in 2004, I moved down here and I began studying with him. After 2 years, I decided to make available this treatment that had been so beneficial to me to people all around the world by starting a small retreat program. 2 years later, I ended up meeting Christian Moran, and we shot a film together at the beginning of 2009. That was a tremendous success because we were able to heal a man of cancer and also successfully treat a woman with rheumatoid arthritis and document it all. And that was what began my relationship with Christian. Shortly after that film, I came up with the idea for the Ayahuasca Foundation, which had a bigger vision. It wasn't just about helping a few people. We began offering educational courses where we would teach the principles of the Shipibo tradition, or the healing tradition of an indigenous tribe here in the Amazon, so that people could then bring that medicine and that knowledge of plant medicine back to their home countries, as well as continuing to treat patients that come from all over the world with all kinds of illnesses. And the final phase of that process was to create this center, the Riosbo Ayahuasca Research and Education Center. The real goal of this center is to demonstrate on a scientific level to ultimately prove the effectiveness of modern medicine, but also the importance of consciousness in the role of healing, and to learn more from the ancestral traditions of the indigenous people about how healing is enhanced by tradition itself, what the methods and the rituals are that increase the effectiveness of medicinal plants. That to me is the most fascinating part of it. Since opening the Ayahuasca Foundation, we've had over 1,000 participants participate in our courses and programs, and I've been able to witness and observe thousands of people healed by this tremendous plant medicine tradition. Even if you're taking pharmaceutical medication, there are elements of this tradition that can improve the effectiveness of pharmaceutical medicine. So by studying this tradition, which has been developed for thousands of years, we can learn so much and move forward into a new future of medicine and our understanding of the healing process.
Yo soy don Miguel, tengo 42 años, natural de Roaboya nativa. Soy curandero, en Shipibo se dice unaya. Unaya se dice una persona que tiene conocimiento de las plantas. Entonces, dedico hace 15 años ya, porque cuando tenía 22 años empezó mi dieta con toda la fuerza. El conocimiento que yo tengo es con la herencia de mi mamá y con el apoyo de mi padre. Entonces, dedico ahora con todo lo que es la planta. Ya, aparte de las ceremonias con la ayahuasca, también doy otro tipo de tratamiento como vapor. Tengo que hervir las plantas y recibir, eso se dice sauna en español, y en Shipibo, puacate. Diferentes tipos de plantas, como patiquina, toé, y cataba, ayauma y otros más. De eso, como para limpieza de estómago, vomitivos. De las diferentes plantas, extractos también. Aparte de eso, para los nervios, unas bebidas especiales como chiricsanango.
I was really fortunate in starting the Ayahuasca Foundation to find what I feel is the perfect location. magically, I kind of stumbled across this community called the Mishana community, which is located in the heart of the Alpahuayo Mishana National Reserve outside of Iquitos, Peru. So you'd fly into Lima, and then from Lima you'd fly to Iquitos. From there, it's a 1-hour ride by bus, first on a paved road and then about a half an hour on a dirt road to a little village called Ninarumi, where we would then get out of the bus and onto a boat and head up the Nanay River into the National Reserve. That ride takes about 1 hour, at which point we would arrive at the Mishana community located in the center of the Alpahuayo Mishana National Reserve. Iquitos, Peru has become the mecca of ayahuasca exploration, and being near here, of course that's where my first teacher was, and so I lived here. But being here is really being in the heart of the development and the progress that's happening with our understanding of ayahuasca. But being in this specific spot in the Mishana community and in this reserve really is perfect. We are surrounded by 130,000 acres of pristine rainforest in every direction. It's one of the few places that is fully protected, fully untouched, and yet the Mishana community have lived here for 90 years before the reserve was formed. Luckily, we have the opportunity to work with an indigenous community here, employ them, provide economic stability for them, and at the same time enjoy the benefit of their help in our programs. Trying to come here on our own would have been impossible, but having a network of people who have the experience and background to help us to live here and to work here was just a tremendous benefit.
Ya, muy bien, yo soy Roger González, tengo 74 años, estoy aquí en la comunidad de Mishana, 47 años viviendo acá en la comunidad de Mishana. Aquí en la comunidad de Mishana son como 65 personas ahorita, con todos chicos y grandes. Bueno, el señor Carlos, yo pienso el trabajo que está muy bien, tiene mucho interés aquí en la comunidad Mishana, que tiene una alberga acá, trabajo con nosotros allá. Me gusta este señor que trabaja acá, está levantando a la comunidad Mishana, está progresando acá la comunidad Mishana. El señor Carlos, por él tenemos muchas cosas acá, muchos recuerdos tenemos acá, porque él nos ayuda en todo lo que necesitamos. Es un hombre bien bueno para nosotros. Para mí es bien bueno.
At this moment, the center's just opening, so we're brand new. We're doing something that we haven't done before, and of course it's based on our previous programs, but we're trying to pave a new path in understanding how best we can provide medicine. The first year of our operation will mainly be working with the development of our operational model. In this program, we're also incorporating a lot of new, more cutting-edge modern techniques that have been discovered in recent decades or years that we think would be also beneficial in complement to the indigenous tradition. Ultimately, we're looking at healing from a global perspective. Indigenous traditions from all over the world have made great contributions to our understanding of health. We are going to be incorporating yoga into our programs, as well as meditation, as well as more cutting-edge processes like holotropic breath work and epigenetic reprogramming. We really feel like in doing so, we will again be optimizing that inner environment so that when medicine enters that environment, it works at its highest level and effectiveness. The research center is comprised of the lodging for the curanderos who have their own house for him and his wife and children. And then there's a laundry room for our laundry, a lot of storage rooms to store all of the things that we need, especially when we're not running programs, a kitchen, a dining room, family room. We have plans to put in a laboratory as well as a medical facility, and we have a large activity room for yoga and meditation, a massage room, and a consultation room, as well as 10 guest rooms. Each of the guest rooms has 2 beds, although we use single occupancy unless requested, and each room has an ensuite bathroom, as well as a private porch in the back looking into the jungle and a shared balcony that overlooks the river. One of the challenges, of course, of being in an environment like this is that we don't really have access to some of the amenities and comforts that we are accustomed to in our home countries, the most important being electricity. Thanks to a company called Future Solar Systems in Massachusetts, we were able to acquire solar panels as well as thermal panels that we have on our roof that provide electricity, which is stored in lithium-ion batteries, as well as a reserve of lead-acid batteries. The thermal solar panels heat the water for our showers. So we have hot water and we have electricity through that. We were able to dig a well so that we get clean well water for our water systems, and then we also filter that water for our drinking water. We are off the grid 100%, but yet can still provide the comforts that most people would expect if they were in their home countries. Our ceremony space is really beautiful. It's a 16-sided building that we call the Maloka, which is a traditional building used specifically for ceremonies. The 16-sidedness of the building allows each person to have a mattress that faces directly into the center. The curanderos sit in the center along with our facilitators, and everyone else sits along the outer edge. There's a balcony that goes all the way around so that the roof overhang creates a great situation for complete darkness inside the ceremony, something that's essential in the Shipibo tradition. Each person has their own mattress with a sheet, a pillow, a pillowcase, a blanket, and of course their bucket in case they need to purge any negative toxins or energy during the ceremony. We really hope to bring people from any walk of life. We'll be most likely focusing on specific case studies. For example, if a person comes down with Crohn's disease, then we'll document their prior pharmacological or medical records, and then we will also collect data on their specific treatments, as well as data on observations of their attitudes and beliefs and their inner environment, so to speak. And then at the end, we'll hopefully be able to demonstrate how we were able to heal that condition, but step by step through the processes and how each one contributed to the whole process of being healed. Mostly we'll be working on a case-by-case level because each individual is a unique person. But we would also like to do more traditional studies on some of the plants that we work with which haven't been studied very much. There are some plants that we work with that haven't been researched at all. In fact, they don't even have scientific names yet. So we will be doing traditional research to demonstrate the effectiveness or the healing properties of certain plants that have yet to be researched, or there is a little awareness of them yet in the outside world. But mainly we'll be focusing on the tradition itself, as well as improving that inner environment, which is a collection of emotions, attitudes, beliefs, and mindsets. I really can't thank enough the Granttown Foundation. It was really their generosity and their kindness and their compassion and understanding that made the Riosbo Ayahuasca Research and Education Center a reality. Not only were they the funders of this project, but they stood through all of the challenges and supported me throughout everything and were so understanding. I appreciate their help so much. Ultimately, together we worked to create something that was the fulfillment of a vision that I've had, as well as our staff and as well as our curanderos, to demonstrate to the world the power of plant medicine and the healing traditions of the Amazon. So all of the people that come through here will be healed as a result of their generosity and their kindness, and I can't thank the Granttown Foundation enough for all their contributions to this amazing project.
The mission of the Granttown Foundation is to help build a world that works for 100% of humanity. That means we spend a lot of time researching alternatives to the various aspects that compose a civilization. In regards to alternative medicine, we were very aware of the benefits of ayahuasca due to the experiences I had while making the film Ayahuasca Diary, which is also where I first met Carlos. In the years since we completed the film, Carlos and I kept in touch, and we would often talk about the possibility of building a research facility where professionals from the Western medical paradigm could come to investigate and experience the traditional Amazonian shamanic practices that have contributed to the health and well-being of so many people over such a long period of time. When Granttown finally found itself in the position that it could contribute funds to the construction of the research center, we immediately contacted Carlos because we knew that he his staff, and the Ayahuasca Association were the best people, and perhaps the only people that really had the experience to not only oversee the construction of the center, but manage and direct it once it was completed.
Right now, there seems to be a wonderful boom or a resurgence of interest in psychedelic studies in general, and also specifically ayahuasca. And I am so glad to see that more universities and research institutions are getting involved in looking at such a powerful tradition of healing. I have a lot of insight that I'd love to add to that research, and I'd love to collaborate with those institutions and research organizations. It's difficult to set up a study without having a location that is adequate or can simulate the indigenous process, as well as finding a staff that is well-versed and understands well the tradition that they're working with, and of course the curanderos themselves, which are mostly indigenous. We have done all of the work to provide a fantastic facility for research to take place, and also the staffing to make that a reality. So if a research center or a university or any organization was interested in doing research, we could host that research and provide all of the details and all of the logistics that would be a real challenge for someone from another country to work out. They could ultimately then come, and all they have to focus on is the research itself, so that we could really come up with a solid research project that can really do a wonderful job at demonstrating and proving the effectiveness of the indigenous traditions of the Amazon rainforest, and especially with ayahuasca and plant medicine, in achieving health and harmony and happiness.
Ahora, estoy contento, solo quiero agradecer a don Carlos y a ustedes, y con el apoyo de ustedes estamos aquí. Solo espero tener muchos clientes y compartir mis experiencias. Invitar muy personalmente como curandero para poder compartir mis conocimientos con las plantas medicinales.
Yo quiero invitar a todo el mundo de todas las naciones que vengan acá a esta comunidad a visitarnos para tener más realce aquí en la comunidad mixana.
Granttown is very happy with how the center has turned out, and we're very excited not only to see what unfolds here, but to continue helping Carlos and the Ayahuasca Association for years and decades to come.
We stand at the edge of a new frontier of medicine, a new understanding of health. We've planted the seed here, and with your help, we can grow a new tree of wisdom and change the course of humankind.